Hello again, 102ers. Hopefully this is the second video you've watched so far, because that introductory video, which was listed first in the announcement, will help you get ready for the semester. If this is the first one, stop right now and go watch the introductory video. No, seriously. It'll make your life so much easier. Stop this video, go back, rewatch the introductory. Promise. Oh, good, you're back. Now that you've rejoined this wonderful experience, I have a very important announcement to make, and yes, I'm actually being serious this time. These videos are not meant to be a full lecture of the material. I will not record myself droning on for 80 minutes to discuss the material that you're supposed to cover. These videos are meant to be a quick introduction to the material, a bit of guidance where I see that students from the past got confused, and a bit of explanation on what's coming up. I hope to never have any majorly overly long videos. However, it does happen occasionally. These are just me meaning to get you moving forward. If there are any questions about the material either in the video or for the week, please reach out to me and ask. Everyone's heard there are no stupid questions, but I disagree. The only stupid questions are the ones that you're too afraid to ask and they go unanswered. Answering questions is quite literally in my job description. So please, just don't assume that you know what's going on. Verify you do. And don't be upset with me when you email me for a question and I ask if you have watched the video. That's not me trying to say, go watch the video and shut up. It basically is saying, hey, was the video not clear? If it wasn't, what wasn't clear about it so I can fix it? Okay? Sounds like we're in good shape. Let's go. All right, let's jump into it. The introductory video that you watched earlier launched you through what the page is and where everything is going to be located. So I don't need to take time up here to navigate you to direct things. Let's start with looking at the first week's announcement, and it's a big one. Sorry. So as you can see, I always start off with a little bit of explanation. Usually it's going to be what we did this week, what we're doing next week, and all of that. First week just kind of explains everything, okay? Then I'm going to put the video. This week, again, there are two videos. We have the introduction for Brightspace, and then it's going to be the video for week number 1, okay? I have these listed accordingly. We're going to have video chapter listings in there, both here at the announcement, as well as the YouTube video in its own description. So please feel free to look through and see exactly what you need to see. Then, material that you are going to absolutely have to read through and discuss. The only thing I'm not going to really touch on is the getting started video. That's got all of the class policies. That might be something for you to look at when you have the moment. Everything else to kind of look at and get ready for. There's another video here for selecting an appropriate topic if you're kind of, locked up in vapor lock with your brain trying to come up with a good topic for your semester. That is a long video, but that's basically like me taking what I would do in class and digitizing it, okay? Then I have some small assignments here to just get you things ready, like checking out the Debatable Topics list, the instructor information page, trying to figure out if you have your contact information created for me, and then setting up your Brightspace profile and customizing notifications. These two things were talked about in the introductory video, so it shouldn't be any big surprise to you. And then we have the assignments at the bottom, including the due date, and what is actually assigned. Now, this first one here, the putting the AI in academic integrity quiz, that has to be done or you will be dropped from the class. See it right here? Anyone who does not complete this particular assignment by the due date will be dropped from the class. You have to get it in. Period. End of discussion. Okay? Then you have a discussion board. So that's the announcement. That's great. Wonderful. Amazing. But then, if we go back to our main page, we can click on View the Course Schedule, which will take us right to the course schedule. And it's easy on the first part because we just have to look down at the week 1. Everything we just saw in the announcement is right here in a very concise manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to look at. 1 video to look at if you're confused. A debatable topics list and 2 assignments. 1 quiz, 1 discussion board. So it's pretty easy. And honestly, let's not dawdle. Let's just get right into it. So clicking on what is an exploratory research essay will take us to this page. And honestly, you're introduced to the concept of, well, what is an exploratory research essay? Duh, right? Now, you can literally read through all of this at your leisure, and it's not a bad page. It's got all the information that you're going to need, but it's not necessarily as directed as it should be, including the fact that I actually add something in here in the body of the paragraph that isn't actually in these samples. So where do you find them? Very good question. While this is a good way to get started, the best way to get started is to go back and click on the Exploratory Research Essay Directions and Sample that I have given you. Honestly, this is what it's going to look like. I'm giving you all of the instructions right here, the requirements, the structure, the development, including the extra paragraphs that I am asking you for, right here. And basically on page 3, I actually give you a full sample of paper, including what it should look like with headers and formatting and all sorts of ideas. Everything is here for you to find, okay? So that's something that you're going to definitely want to take a look at. But wait a minute, you might be a little confused. The sample's great, but you might not have a real clue about what an exploratory research essay is. So allow me to explain. At this point in your educational career, many of you have written a lot of papers. Unfortunately, many of you have also been given a topic, told to find 1 or 2 sources relating to that topic, and vomited that information back on the page for a very bored, very lazy teacher to look at and say, yeah, that's what I expected to see. You're good. There's no real thought or actual process to the writing. It's simply an exercise to check off a few basics. This, friends, is not that. Once you select your topic for the semester, you'll be doing research to support your claim. As you do that, you're going to be actually exploring the topic and figuring out which direction your thesis should go. Why exploring? Because that shows your train of thought. That shows what you value and what you consider important. It's not just, I have to write a paper on the history of basketball in North America. You now have to understand the nuances and causes and effects of your topic. You will do that through directed research and an open mind. Now, as you can see on this page, there is a process they simplified for you, okay? It absolutely starts with a topic. It's not meant to be a fully formalized topic at the start, but you should have an idea of what you want to look into and maybe even your emotional attachment to it. Writing about prison reform is fine and dandy, but what's the argument? Why do you care so much about it? Once you figure that out, you can start to look into the articles and websites that will provide you so much clearer ideas about the picture that your thoughts might actually try to be painting. Make sure that the source material that you find is able to address your initial questions. If not, you have 2 choices. 1, find new sources, or 2, formulate a new question. Once you're through all of that, it's going to be about revising to make sure that you put on the page exactly what you mean to put on the page. Got it? Once again, you have a sample paper down here that you can look at, and it'll give you the basics, but I've added a few things. So here we have our title, introduction, body of essay, conclusion, and references page. Title, introduction, conclusion, and references are all the same. The body of the essay, I've added some. So once again, if we take a look at this sample, we can see that we have an introduction, yes. With development, instead of a minimum of 4 paragraphs, I want 6. You're going to actually do a research methodology paragraph. It's very easy. Don't worry about it. It's not all that long. And then you're going to actually give me a summary and an evaluation of 2 sources. That's the 4 paragraphs. And then you're going to have the 6th paragraph of the development, which is a research reflections paragraph. Now, all of that is explained right here under development or body. And if you go down into the sample itself, you can see research methodology. I want 3 research questions. I want to know where you looked. I want to know what sort of source material, search terms you used to find the source material. Then, summary of the first source, evaluation of the first source. Summary of the second source, evaluation of the second source. finalized by your research reflections, which is basically, hey, what'd you find out? Okay? Then we have our conclusion and our references page. And that's the paper, really. Now, going back to the master schedule, you'll see the next page is asking you to look at is using CREDO, okay? It's a database that you have access to through being a student here. Now, personally, I actually can't stand CREDO. So you click on that link, it takes you here to using CREDO to find a research topic. It kind of tells you how to do it, but let's face facts. If you've ever used Google before, you can use CREDO, okay? All this information can be found. It's just a dedicated search page. You know, it's a search engine that you can use. That's great, wonderful, amazing. And honestly, I really don't like it. So in order to find it, we go back to the Delaware Tech portal page, and we scroll down to Student Success Toolbox here on the right. Find Library, click on it, and you will see in the second section all the databases that you have access to. Here's CREDO right here. Clicking on that will take you to this page. And you can take a look at it and search whatever you want. Let's just do cyber security. And now you're going to get a page that pops up with a mind map, and you can kind of go all over the place with it. You can find all sorts of source material here. And honestly, it's not bad to find sources. It's not great to find sources, but it's not bad to find sources. The one that I like most to help you find a good topic, though, is SIRS. And if you click down here on the databases under SIRS, you will get to this page here. And I think this is a much better place to find the material. The only drawback is that they present everything in a binary format. It's this or that. There's really no nuance to it. Basically, it's black or white, up or down, north or south. Gray doesn't exist to them. Now, we all know that that's not true. So, you can start with CREDO or SIRS to find a topic, but take the time to kind of watch the video listed in the activities portion of the schedule. I know it's a half-hour long. It helps walk you through the entire process, including what topics should not be considered. Very important. If you give me one of those topics, I will tell you you can't do it. So here we have our trending topics, our editor's picks, all sorts of fun things, okay? So, you can start with whatever you want. I kind of prefer CREDO myself. But, you know what? I did mention that you were going to be finding a topic, right? Oh, that's the one I wanted. So we have to kind of figure out, well, what makes an argumentative thesis statement? So clicking on that, there we go. We start to figure out the parameters of those directions. It's not just a fantastic explanation, because it's not. That's what the video is for. But it isn't necessarily bad at all, because it does hit all the high points. Make sure that your topic is debatable. Junk food is bad for your health. Everybody knows that. There's no debate to it. That's like saying don't stick your hand in a fire. We know that, okay? There's no argument there. Because junk food is bad for your health, the size of sodas offered at fast food restaurants should be regulated by the federal government. Okay, now we have an argument, because there's a lot of people who are going to tell you that they don't want the government in their sodas. Okay, great. We have an argument at this point. So it must be debatable. It must be assertive. Federal immigration law is a tough issue about which many people disagree. No kidding. You're playing both sides against the middle. We don't want to do that. We want to give something that's a lot more directed, okay? So it's got to be assertive. So you are stating a specific option, not just bringing something up that might be sound controversial with really no hope of siding with either camp. Make sure you're reasonable about the topic. City council members stink and should be thrown in jail. No! You're an argumentative ass at that point. You just need to find a real, solid, adult way of talking about things, okay? You can't let your heart lead, and you have to be able to back up your ideas with solid source material. Hence, the evidence-based. You need evidence. Individuals convicted of murder will go to hell when they die. We don't know that. We believe that. Some of us. But there is no proof. There's no proof at all, okay? Rehabilitation programs for individuals serving life sentences should be funded because these programs reduce violence within prisons. Hey, that's a statistical proof. Okay, we can use that. You're going to hear me say this a few times this summer, so listen up. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I don't care what you believe. I care what you can prove. So you saying, I think, I feel, I believe, it doesn't matter. However, if you say something that actually has proof behind it, I will listen to you 100%. Even if I disagree with you from the start, I will still listen to you because now you have something we can actually look at, okay? Make sure that your argument is indeed focused as well. The federal government should overhaul the U.S. tax code. Do you have any clue how big the U.S. tax code is? No, you need to narrow that stuff down, okay? So please make sure that you are very specific in what you're doing, okay? So this is kind of how I want you to start thinking about your topic. I do not want you to write about prison reform. Great! I think prisons should be reformed as well, but what about it? What are we going to argue? Drug addiction is bad. No kidding. What's the argument? Cancer sucks. No kidding. What's the argument? Okay? That's the point. So I'm going to hit one more topic document before I actually go in depth, okay? So when we go back to stages of debate in topic selection, right here, well, this document is a little serious and very detailed. Personally, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this page other than the fact that it's very focused and very wordy. As a matter of fact, I know the wonderful individual who actually wrote this page, and it really matches her personality. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. She's a wonderful person. But she is very smart and very detailed, and all the information here can be seen, okay? I really want you to know there's nothing in here I disagree with, nor is there anything in here I would ignore. I do highly recommend reading through it, but I want you to focus on the following things. So, 1, how are you going to express yourself in the research paper? What sort of thesis are you going to put together, and how are you going to start your research with the questions you choose? So, tentative argument thesis statements, open-ended research questions, they all help. We have lines of inquiry, okay? Understanding that not all arguments are built the same is very important. By clicking on the accordion boxes here, oh look, they stretch. How cool is that? I knew that. I was just trying to help you. By clicking on these accordion boxes, you can see how the arguments are more than just no or yes. Are we arguing something is or is not? Who controls the narrative behind what is right and wrong? Because you know what? What is right and wrong is different for everybody. Why are they considered experts? How did an event or series of events cause something to happen? What are the results of certain events? Oh, the big one. Good and bad are inherently opinionated ideas. How do we discern what is socially acceptable and what is not? War, you want to say war is always bad, but is it? Sometimes, in order to save the ones we love, we go to war. So does that make that bad? I don't know. That's a philosophical debate. Argument of action or problem solution? Well, hey, how did this change? There's a big problem here. How would you fix it? Honestly, the best part of the page is the end, and I'm not saying that because it was too long. Okay? It's just what it is. But I agree with her completely when she says, do not look at things in a binary way. Figure out the gray while everyone else is dealing in black or white. Did you know that if you flip a quarter, there are actually 3 possible results? Everyone focuses on heads or tails. But once in an amazingly great while, the quarter might actually land on its edge. Just because it's not common doesn't mean it's impossible, folks. Remember that. Now, before we get deeper into this, I want to take the time on this video to back up what I'm saying on the topic selection video, which, according to history, many of you are going to skip. I want to tell you the topics you cannot do, okay? Yes, it's also talked about in that topic selection video, but like I said, there's a lot of you that aren't going to watch that, so I feel that repeating it is very important. That way you can't say, well, I didn't know. Now you have it in 2 places. Anyway, after close to 20 years of teaching this class, I have a small list of topics that are no-goes. They're no-fly zones. Don't use them. They're problems. I will never assign a failing grade because I disagree with your findings, but you will not do well if you cannot support those findings. And that's where these issues come in. So, what topics are on my no-fly list? Well, I gotta tell you that there are some topics I just hate. There are some topics I hate so much, I just don't do them. What are they? Well, abortion is still on the list if you're writing about it in terms of religion or faith, okay? If you're going to talk about people going to hell or are immoral, I don't want to hear it. Because guess what? Not everybody is Christian. Not everybody follows along with that same tenet of belief. So therefore, the only actual support that you're going to give it is going to be the Bible. And not everybody believes in the Bible. So therefore, it is not going to work for this argument. However, if you would like to talk about abortion in terms of abortion access and women's health care, well, guess what? That is a legal argument, which I will accept. I still would recommend that you steer clear of this topic. But if you are desperate to write about this, I'll allow the legality of it, but I will not ever entertain the idea of faith coming into that argument. Okay? If you can't keep it out, don't do it to begin with. Another topic I can't stand is college athletes should be paid. Boring. I've seen every permutation of the topic, and while I think that student athletes work very hard, I'm tired of repeating the same source material in different papers. It is just so repetitive. There's nothing new in there. There's also the legislation that provides athletes with the name, image, and likenesses, which really helps out. So the argument is finally starting to fade away, thank God. Another overdone topic is legalizing drugs, most notably weed. Please, please don't do that. Please, God, don't even think about writing that paper, because every time I read it, it gets worse. Seriously. I know each and every source you're going to give. I know each and every subtopic you're going to put in there, and they all are miserable. Don't write this paper. Childhood obesity is another one, but it's not because it's not a good topic. It's just so terribly boring. I have read so many papers on fat kids needing to lose weight that I can tell you exactly how you are going to write the paper, what sources you're going to use, and how you're going to conclude. Plus the fact everybody always starts with a quote from Michelle Obama. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Michelle Obama. But I'm tired of reading her single quote every single time somebody writes this paper. Okay? Vaccinations, another topic I don't want you to do. Why? They're scientifically and medically incontrovertible. They don't cause autism. They help save people's lives. And all that other garbage that you're going to bring up comes from mommy blogs and conspiracy websites. Don't waste your time or mine. Parenting styles and how one might be better than another. It's pure opinion with very little proof besides personal experiences. I've seen this topic attempted far too many times, and not one time was it a good paper. Everybody dips into their own personal history. It doesn't work. Don't. Social media is bad. No kidding. It sucks. It's also opinion and incredibly vague. If you insist on using this avenue of thought, at least take the next step and focus solely on cyberbullying. That at least has meat on its bones, but social media is bad is just far too open of a topic. Social media causes mental health concerns. No kidding. We know this. It's not an argument. Okay? Don't do it. Gun control. Not one person has ever written dispassionately about this topic. Every time they try, it is miserably terrible. Okay? You either own a gun or multiple guns and hate the people who want you to give them up, or you are fervently anti-gun and start throwing around insults towards the people who do own the guns. Either way, it's not a good place to start, so don't do any of those topics, okay? Please. Oh yeah, finally, the Earth is flat, global warming doesn't exist. Come on. If you propose either of these, you aren't paying attention to thousands of years of human history. You ignore science and geologic facts. If you ignore all of that, you cannot be taken seriously. You will absolutely fail this paper. Period. Now, I showed you where to go for the Student Success Toolbox and SIRS and CREDO, so please make sure that you look through SIRS at least to help you. And then you can also look down here at the Debatable Topics list, which is right here. And you're going to click on that and see this page. It used to be terrible, but honestly, one of my colleagues and I really dove into it to try to make it as easy as possible to look at, and it really did work out nicely. So you can take a look at these accordion boxes and give you sample search questions to start. Good possible topics, ideas that you can go through and figure out if it's something that works for you. I am not saying find a topic off of here and don't look outside. Not at all. What I am saying is if you don't know where to start, this is a good place to begin your thought process, okay? All right. Guess what? We're almost done, I promise. So if we click on Understanding Plagiarism for our last document, it is so very easy, okay? Plagiarism, it's bad, all right? Don't do it. You need to look through this document here because your quiz is quite literally based on this document. I hate to be so dismissive in reviewing it, but plagiarism is exactly what you think it is. Academic theft and or cheating. I can sum up this entire page by saying one thing. Do your own work! If you copy and paste, you're cheating. If you get someone to write your paper for you, you're cheating. If you're reusing old papers, you're cheating. If you're getting generative AI to create all or part of your paper for you to save time and effort, you're cheating. Do your own work because plagiarism is using someone else's work and not giving them proper credit. And of course, once you're done with the Understanding Plagiarism, you can jump right over and take the Putting the AI in Academic Integrity quiz, which looks just like this. And I have the Delaware Technical Community College's links here on academic policy, academic honesty, and the academic integrity policy. I'm tired of talking. And then here, I'm again telling you, hey, read this document first. Hey, did you read it yet? No, read it. Oh, wait, you want a PDF or a Word document? Okay, here they are. Read it. And then you just go through, start quiz, and polish through. If you answer in complete sentences, chances are you're going to do a good job. All right? So that's your first assignment for the week. Here is the topic video I was telling you about. And let's just talk about one more assignment, and then we're done, I promise. It's going to be the Unit 1 Topic Development Brainstorm Part 1 Discussion Board. Boom. Okay, great. I'm hoping that you will do it to the best of your ability, and I'm asking you to do it a little bit differently than other teachers because, frankly, I could not stand the prompt they had you doing. I tossed it. I created my own. I'm happier this way. What do I want you to do? Get your feet wet by channeling your English 101 memories and tell me about your thoughts related to opinions and arguments. Okay? Oh, look, I'm asking you to tell me, what is an opinion? What is a researched opinion? What is your definition of an argument? In your opinion, how does someone actually win an argument? And then on the second paragraph, I kind of want you to introduce a minimum of 3 topics that might interest you. Give me some ideas, okay? That way, we're going to have all of these ideas really in front of us for us to look at. And maybe you might find out that, maybe I don't like this topic, but somebody else does. Because when you're done posting your 2 paragraphs, I want you to go back through and comment on at least 2 of your peers' posts. Do not just give me, hey, good job, or wow, that sucks. Give me something much more in-depth, something that tells me why you like it or why you don't. It is a writing course after all, okay? Now look at this. Just because I'm a giver, I've given you 2 paragraphs, okay, to show you kind of what might go in here. Now, I didn't answer it completely because I want you to actually think on your own rather than just copying mine. But this is kind of what I want it to look like when it's done. And when you are ready, you click on this. And then down here, just reply to the thread. No problem. Okay? Good. And that's the week, kids. I know that for some of you, you are absolutely dreading the semester due to all the material I dumped on you this first week. You're taking a 15-week course over 10 weeks. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I would think that 80% of what you got this week was a cover your butt thing to ensure that you knew about the course and where we're going. From now on, there's only a single video to watch each week, and it's not going to be over 30 minutes long. Couple that with the chapter listings at the bottom, and you'll be able to glide through them pretty easily, okay? Plan ahead, email me when you need me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your topics next week. Have a great week. Stay safe. See ya.